Hi, welcome to Dealing with Absence webinar on behalf of Clover HR. My name's Lynn Berman. I'm the HR business partner for Clover HR. You'll see my contact details are on the screen and my mobile number, and it'll be available at the end of this webinar as well. This is your Clover HR team. Not the most recent photo because we haven't all been able to get together, but in terms of Clover HR, we are your trusted people advisors, here to help in any way we can. We have over 150 years of experience between us all, so we can ensure we get the best advice and service to you. We all have our specialisms in the areas of people, from recruitment, training, coaching, wellbeing, rewards, and many other people strategies. This picture was taken before lockdown, so I'm hoping to get together at the end later in the year. So there is a question and answer session at the end if you would like. I'll leave a few minutes at the end. However, if you want to send any emails through separately, please feel free to email info@cloverhr or email me directly. Alternatively, phone or put anything on the blog or the chat line at the bottom. I would ask you to keep questions till the end, just so I can give a chance to get through all the detail. All your microphones are muted, if you could check that for me, just so you can hear all the content and everyone gets to hear everything. I am going to turn my video off in a moment as well, so you can see the full screens in order to see the content. Okay, what we'll be going through today, absence statistics, and then we'll look at dealing with absence fairly, short-term absenteeism, long-term absenteeism, and the management of absence. So I'll give you as many tips and techniques as I possibly can to help you through a topic like this. So if we looked at absence statistics, in 2020, sickness absence is apparently at its lowest, with an average of 5.8 days absent per employee. This is the lowest in the 20-year history of the survey. And this is taken from CIPD data. In the CIPD annual survey, the main causes of sickness absence have been identified as minor illnesses such as colds, flus, stomach upsets, headaches, musculoskeletal injuries, including back pain, stress, mental health, including depression and anxiety, or caring responsibilities for children. So when dealing with absence, the most important thing to remember is to be fair and consistent. This will help ensure the workforce know what is expected of them, and it's clear that everyone is treated the same. So other things to try and remember. You have to measure absence, such as Bradford factor scheme or the number of occasions. Be concise on your data, and this should all be captured. Have a clear attendance policy. Is there a number that employees call? Is there a certain time they should call before? Should it be their direct line manager? Ensure you have this written down and clear to all. Stick to the policy and procedure in place. So consistent and transparent application of the absence procedure is needed to ensure, if they are not followed, the employer is reminded of this and action taken in future times. Offer some flexibility. So further down the process, if the hours of work or days seem to be causing an issue and need to be changed, try and look into this as a possibility. Return to work interviews for all and every occasion, whether that be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. This is a clear tool in managing absence and ensures the employer is aware of any ailments or medical needs the employee may have. It also highlights to the employee that their absence is noted and it does have an impact on the business. So consistency here is crucial. Train your managers. Make sure you train all line managers who will be dealing with absence in the workplace. This ensures everyone has to be consistent and treat all employees the same. And get policy buy-in. So ensure the policy has been read by all line managers and employees. Share it in an easy accessible location and routinely review the document. Also get employees to sign to say they've read this document. So when it comes to short-term absence, absence is best divided into one of two categories, either long-term or short-term absence. So the management of these two types of absences is entirely different. In many cases, long-term absence is harder to improve with management methods than short-term absence. There is no legal definition of what short-term absence looks like. However, most employers define it to be an absence of less than 4 weeks. Things to ensure are as follows. So ensure the employee calls themselves unless not able to. So you need to speak to them directly. For example, if they were hospitalised or having an operation, they would be unable to call. Ensure every absence is reported and monitored in the absence data. This enables you to refer back to it if the situation does get worse and you've got facts to go on. Carry out a return to work interview after every absence, as stated earlier, even if the absence is for 1 day. This highlights that 1 day's absence or 10 days absence does have an impact on the business and is quite disruptive. Look for patterns of absence, so all Mondays or all Fridays, etc. Then this is something that should be highlighted to the employee and discussed as to the reasons why. And again, be consistent and fair. Ensure you are consistent with every employee and use the same monitoring tools throughout. Health conditions here vary on long-term absence, from accidents to cancer, from operations to mental illness. So hopefully most workers recover and come back to work when they're well enough to work. Nowadays, using the FitNote process of looking at capability rather than inability, it's easier for GPs to consider what a person can do earlier and not wait for full recovery, which helps the business and the employee, hopefully. This way, recovery takes place while working, reduced hours or different duties, so managers can help an early return by adjusting the work or hours of work. So things to remember in order to manage long-term absenteeism. Have a clear policy. Ensure all employees know what to do while they're off and steps to follow. Hopefully long-term absence would not happen too many times in an employee's lifetime. Therefore, they might not be aware of what to do in this situation if they were off more than 4 weeks. Ensure the correct procedure is followed. So medical documentation is needed after 7 days. Therefore, ensure the employee follows this and keeps in regular contact with their employer. Communicate with them. So ensure regular communication between yourselves and the employee and agree the time frames and regularity to keep in touch, whether that be certain days, certain times, who rings who. Monitor. So continue to monitor the employee's absence and their improvement and keep records of this and ensure that triggers are being met. It's important to keep notes. Ensure you keep notes of any conversations you have between employee and employer, so you know what has been said and agreed at each meeting or conversation. Seek external support. Help is there. Medical reports can be obtained from the employee's GP, or help and advice from human resources professionals or occupational health advisors. Remember to use these avenues if you need to, as they can help a situation being prolonged and ensures as a business, you are managing the situation as best you can. And as an employer, you are supporting your staff as best you can. So when we look at the Equality Act, this Equality Act 2010 does give some protection to disabled workers. So the definition of this, those who have a mental or physical impairment which has a substantial and long-term adverse effect on their ability to carry out their normal day-to-day activities. This is caused by whose absence is caused by their disability. So there's no qualifying period to attain rights under the Equality Act. You are covered from the very start of your employment, and job applications are also covered. So just be aware of this and look into more detail if needed. Other tips to consider: have a clear attendance policy. This provide this to all employees on day one. Ensure all employees know how to notify of absence. Remind all employees of the absence procedure regularly. Outline to employees how the records are kept. So as and when you have conversations on a return to work interview, show them where you keep the data and how you keep it, and this enables you to return back to the number of occasions they've had and the reasons why. Ensure consistency. So always be consistent among your employees and fair in your approach. Be clear on the consequences of obviously unacceptable absence levels and what the trigger points are. So ensure you highlight the steps to a disciplinary action and what triggers it. In a Bradford factor scheme, this usually is a point system. So many points turn into a disciplinary procedure and then go through the steps based on your disciplinary policy there. Keep talking to your employee. Never be afraid to ask how they are and what was wrong. It makes them know you care. You're not crying. If they don't want to tell you, they have every right to keep things to themselves. However, you need to be clear that this can only help you and them manage their absence. Gain medical evidence when needed. If you need to get expert advice on someone's medical circumstances, again, we're not all doctors. Seek the help of the medical professions to help you either encourage your employee back to work or manage their absence effectively and fairly. And ensure the formal attendance procedure is followed. Be formal during a return to work interview so employees know you are serious about the absence and that it does affect the business. So we could not go without mentioning the current pandemic and how this is affecting managing absence for employees. Obviously, there's been an increase in home working. So during the pandemic, therefore be sure to have the conversation with your employees of what constitutes home working and sickness whilst working from home. Ensure consistency. So be consistent across your team and do not allow one person to work from home while another colleague you inform them that they're sick and they're not required, they're not working. So being consistent in your approach with all your members of your team. There is an element of trust in home working, so you have to share trust with your team and that they share and tell them that you will trust them if they are ill or sick whilst working from home, and they need to inform you of this. Keep talking to your employee. Ensure your employees know you are there for them if they are ill during their homework, and don't be afraid to phone them and ask them how they are. So in summary, here's some clear bullet points to show you of how to manage absence. It's a very difficult topic and something that doesn't come up hopefully too often. So measure absence effectively. Have a clear absence policy. Ensure you do return to work interviews on all absences. Train managers how to deal with absence. Ensure fairness and consistency throughout the business. Be understanding and supportive when needed. And if you need to talk anything through, please do not hesitate to call us at Clover HR. Thank you so much for listening to my absence webinar. I hope you found it useful. Just on another point, I just wanted to highlight what else we do at Clover. So we have a coaching service available to you, and in simplest terms, just to highlight some information on it, coaching is helping people identify and remove their blocks to enable them to perform at their best. So how do we do that? Firstly, we are here for you and you matter. At Clover, we have trained coaches that use empathy, questioning and listening and cognitive behavioural therapy interventions and techniques to uncover what the real issues or beliefs are, which give strength to the blocks. These blocks can be the reason why a person is fearing change, feeling stressed and falling unwell. A person with low resilience will be sensitive and exhibit these symptoms, and perhaps others, such as a negative mindset. So coaching can help build their resilience. And we have a specific resilience coaching program. A person with high resilience will be able to cope with and adapt to change and stressful situations. Once we've identified the blocks preventing our client from doing or achieving what they want to do, we develop a plan with goals to overcome the blocks. We work through a series of exercises together, set goals to change unhelpful behaviour, and the client then has tools to use between weekly sessions. The clients can expect to talk to a trusted, empathetic coach to identify and understand their own barriers and develop strategies to overcome them, as well as being provided with tools and techniques to use between sessions to achieve their weekly goals. We recommend a package of 5 weekly sessions for the person to demonstrate positive progression and organisational benefits. So just to highlight here, we have a number of other webinars coming up. So if you want to check out the Clover website, and you can have a look at what else is coming up in the near future. Okay, that's the end of the session for me. Hopefully you found it useful. My name's Lynn again, HR Business Partner for Clover HR. Any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me on the email address, on our website, or on any of the phone numbers. Thank you so much for listening. Good luck.